Big Tone. You know what we do, man. You know what we do. And you know this is Friday. Another episode of your favorite podcast, Mask Off. Episode 119, Behind the Line. Yes, indeed. 119 Behind the Line. And this is a special episode, man. I had planned on having probably like five or six guests. Because it's just me for the last two shows. I figure I go hard or go home, but this time, things happen to where it's just me, and I'm okay with that. And because I'm okay with that, that means I get to do what the fuck I want to do. So, with that being said, I got one of my longtime big homies in here with me today, man, kicking it off. But before we get him on, let's talk. Let's talk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a week, and let's recap. What have I done this week? I have, did what we do every Monday through Friday. I hold down the fort. Anything exciting took place? I have to say that yeah, some things exciting took place. If people who don't know or do know, my young boy's been in Philadelphia, so just communicating with him while he's been gone been a treat. So I was able to do that, able to talk to my little lady, my daughter, and those things been wonderful. Anything exciting in the artistic world that I may have done this week? Nothing exciting. I'm gonna have to say that. I've just been waiting to do this show. So with that, we're gonna get right into it, man. Matter of fact, we would do a motivational minute. Once again, I'm gonna give you some big words from Big Tone. So here are the big words from Big Tone. Sometimes you are giving obstacles, right? And sometimes they get in the way of things. So what you have to learn to do is stick and move and shake, and learn how to make those obstacles not mistakes, but learn how to persevere through them. You know what I mean? Things are not going to always go the way you want them to go, but you got to be able to stick and move and get the things done that you need to get done. And these are big words from Big Tone. Keep it all the way moving. It's easy to transition from one person to another person. But when it's just me. So keep in mind, I'm transitioning from me to you tonight. And once again, I'm gonna go ahead and transition and get my old head here. I'm big homie, my big brother. I love him dearly. I want to introduce someone near and dear to me, Mr. Shondell Ravel. Let's go, big time. What it do?
What's up? What's up? What's good, my man?
Doing great, feeling great, feeling great.
No doubt.
Um, Welcome to Mask Off. We generally we come at the top of the show. We do a bunch of things, but lately it's been me on the show, and I've been grooving, doing my thing, man. So I wanted to bring some real OGs on the mic, let people see what's going on, and if you wouldn't mind, can you introduce yourself, my brother?
No problem. Sean Deravel. I'm the executive director for the Mayor's Office of Violence Prevention here in Philadelphia. I'm actually a deputy managing director. Um, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Wow, that's a hell of a title. What does that uh, what do all that mean? Deputy director of what did you say again?
Executive director for the Office of Violence Prevention. The Mayor's
Okay,
Office of Violence Prevention.
that's super dope. So, what
Yeah.
does that do? Deputy director of violence prevention. How do you prevent that, and what's that title encompass?
Well, I got a lot of glue in one hand, string and tape in the other. I mean, we try to hold it together. It's you look at the problems that we're having in the community, you know what I'm saying, and you ask yourself, how do you deal with violence? I think my office is really trying to keep our finger on the pulse of that. You need to put money back into the community. We got grants programs, first time ever in Philadelphia to have that type of program. And also we have people, we call credible messengers. We have a community crisis intervention program that's in the community, unusual times, as we say, unorthodox times, from 6 at night to 12 or 6 at night to 4 in the morning. So it's programming, but truthfully, the office does. We try to be a liaison, man, between the community and city government. We try to fill that gap sometimes, and give people information and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because people are hurting out there. The simplest things can drive somebody to crime. A lot of people think that people on the corner selling drugs because it's the lifestyle or it's flashy. But some people just trying to eat, man. You feel what I'm saying? So this office is really designed. I designed the office, to really look at the major issues the community is having and then figure out ways about it. How do you uplift? What I'm saying, people who are doing good work, in the community. How do you inspire, people who are running, after school programs out of barbershops. You know what I'm saying? You need to put money where your mouth is sometimes. We need to support that. But not only, the financial means also, but you have to make sure that, you're uplifting what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a complex situation sometimes, but the solutions, are simple. You know what I'm saying? People just need to be heard. People need to be supported. You know what I'm saying? And you also have to find ways to be innovative. You know what I mean? We throw the words around holistic approach all the time, man. People throw cliches around like crazy, but what actually is that? You feel what I'm saying? You gotta really look at that, man, in depth, man. And if you ain't willing to take your suit and tie off and walk them streets, you ain't never gonna understand what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm rambling on. Let me get off my soapbox real quick.
No, it's all good. I actually love it, man. And just listening to you talk, it brings back a lot of good memories and thoughts that we've had with each other. Where I just sit there and we just bounce off each other. And
Yeah.
I remember when I lived in Philadelphia, you were like a mentor to me in a sense. And part of the thing that I used to always say, so I was actually working up under you, and you was like a mentor to me. And one of the things that I will always want to say to you is you motivated me to be more than what I was. You know what I mean? And I say that in a way of, you said you want to make a change, you go out there and you put your feet to the ground. And I remember working a specific program. I don't know if you want to mention names of that program, but I remember working with that program. I had full reign to be creative. And what I mean by creative, as long as it sounds good and it's benefiting the community, go for it. And
Yep.
I took that advice and I went for it, and I was I was I was blessed to have the opportunity to do something in a community that needed the help, which I have to say, I know a lot of kids from that community today that still correlate the work that I've done in that community
Word.
with the work that we did. And I thank you for that, bro.
Man, I thank you, man, because it's a lot more than, you know what I'm saying. It's a give and take. You know what I mean. Me motivating you, helping you do the work. You know what I'm saying, is building a bonding relationship. We gotta always play it forward. Too many times you have, I'm gonna keep it real with you, black men that get to the position I'm at, right, and they forget where they come from. It's very easy to get lost in that shadow. You feel what I'm saying? But you gotta always understand, you know what I mean? Knowledge is knowledge. You feel what I mean? So if you're gonna build upon something, you gotta live that. If you don't live that righteous path you're talking about, then real recognize real. People gonna sniff you out.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? You might get over for a little while, but it's gonna catch up to you sooner or later.
No doubt. No doubt. So, I am currently in the D. And when I say the D, I do not mean Delaware. I mean the D. That would be Detroit, Michigan.
I know you
So
want to be, baby. I hear you.
all day, you know what I mean? So I know you are in Philadelphia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And are you from Philadelphia?
Stop playing games, baby. Stop playing games. Love Philadelphia to death, don't get me wrong. But I'm from New York, man. Stop playing, man. You know what I mean? I'm
What
from New
what
York all
what
day.
part of
Come
New York
on,
you from?
man. The BROOKLY, baby. Stop lying. Stop
Where
lying.
Brooklyn
Stop
at?
lying to the fans, baby. Stop lying to the fans. Don't put
Yeah.
me here. Don't put me on that island, man. Come on. Come
I
on,
say
man.
I say that
I love Philly to death, though, man. My family's here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen, come on. You know what I mean? But I'm New York all the way, man. I'm New York all the way,
I just want
all
you here
day.
to shout it out one time.
Stop playing, man. Leave me alone, man. You trying to get me in trouble?
Yo, I wanted to say to you, do you see a correlation with what's happening in Detroit? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the crime that's
I
taking
am.
place in Detroit and the crime that's taking place in Philadelphia.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's at an all-time high. Like you got all these crazy guns on the street. You got these young men shooting at police officers, killing police officers. We just had a police officer get shot by a young boy with a semi-automatic couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And do you think it's some correlation in the streets to the violence, the uptick in violence that we're seeing today?
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, you listen. First of all, you got to look at the economy, man. And people keep saying, but the pandemic, man, hurt a lot of people, man. I mean, seriously, you know what I'm saying? That hurt a lot of programs. It stopped a lot of what we do normally. You know what I'm saying? So you put people in a worse situation when they can't eat. You know what I'm saying? They're stuck in their houses. The system is not working the way it's supposed to work. What do you expect? What do you think you're going to get out of that? You know what I mean? And it's across the country. You know what I mean? It's not just here. All the major cities. In other words, everywhere we are. You feel what I'm saying? We got hit the hardest. Because we were already in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the crime is going to go up. You got a small percentage who commit crimes because they want to commit crimes because it's all good to them, right? Then you got a bigger percentage of people who just trying to get over, right? But then the majority are just trying to live life, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you got to cut that corner. You got to look for that handout. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that. You got to acknowledge all that, right? And you got to look at that in a bigger scale, saying, wow, people when they get in situations where sometimes they don't have a lot of solutions in their toolbox. They know a couple things, and I understand from where they're coming from. I grew up hard too, poor, hard. You know what I'm saying? Projects. You know what I mean? Me and my man Cuddy. We used to
Cuddy.
we used to do some wild stuff just to survive. You know what I mean? Shout out to Cuddy. I know he's on right now. Shout out to Dave, Keith, what's going on? But yeah, man. I mean, that's the reality of it, man. You can't. And let me be clear on this part, right? And I'm gonna say this. This is my personal opinion, right? It's not the city of Philadelphia's opinion, but I'm gonna say this, right? That sometimes people commit crimes of opportunity, right? Because the opportunity is right in front of them, and that's all they know. So sometimes you have to take that out the equation. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take that out the equation. We have to look at what we do, and you know what I'm saying, and we gotta tighten up what we do, man. You know what I mean? You can't sit and put people in situations where they're so desperate that all they see is that way out, right? Why are kids gravitating more to gangs? Why is social media, you know, glorifying what they do? That's right in front of them, right? We need to check the system. We need to change the culture. We can't sit and point fingers at it. We need to change the culture. How do you make being cool going to school? Right?
Mhm.
I mean, seriously.
Do you think today and I brings up it's a good thing you brought up social media and what's this designed to be cool today? You think that one of the things that we don't talk about mental health, and one another thing we don't talk about, we do not talk about the aspect of self-medicating and mental health. You know,
Yeah,
like,
that's
those
real.
are two bombs that are exploding when it comes to these young kids today. Like they're they don't have resilience and the mental fortitude to really deal with things. And the mixture of these synthetic drugs today, that's a major thing. And I think when they start putting these marijuana dispensaries in our own neighborhoods, in putting this and that inside these drugs, these kids can't handle that. And like
Man,
I'm seeing a lot of
they're
these
doing what they
kids,
see, bro.
huh?
They're seeing this type of behavior at home, man, and they're just mimicking it. Or there's no behavior at home because nobody's at home. You know what I'm saying? So we expect them to go get help or get treatment when they don't even understand what that is. You know what I mean? I'll grab what people say all the time, and I'll elevate that where there's no role models. I mean, seriously, there's no role models. You know what I mean? Like who wants to take on that mantle? I mean, for real.
When we say role models, man, like being in organizations and
Positive
fellowship.
role models. Put it that way.
When we okay, when we say role models, that was one of the things that you and I struggle with. I'm like, well, how can I deal with somebody or work with somebody who say they've been in that situation, which I've been in, but their mindset is still in that situation. And when
Yeah.
you talk to somebody that's trying to get out of that situation, it's almost like you back at that state with them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, you are. You got to put yourself in the situation, man, in the
yeah.
shoes. But it's about relationships, man. It's always been about relationships, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you a long time ago, it's like it don't matter who you are, where you coming from. You forming that relationship and you be there when they need you at that point in time. I don't care what you look like. You be
Mhm.
there at that point in time when they really need you, when they're at their worst, and you follow through with helping them. It gotta change their lives, man. How many times we see it happen? It gotta
Definitely,
change their lives.
definitely. We've also done some work in that community with the homeless section of Philadelphia. And I just want to point out that what I mean by homeless section, there's a percentage of teenagers that a lot of people don't talk about that's really like out there homeless from 18 to
Yeah,
25. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But people don't necessarily at them as what young teenagers or young adults. But it's out there. There's shelters that deal with them every day, and a lot
mhm,
of these kids get pushed deeper into the streets because there's no real plan for them.
right.
And part of this conversation I wanted to have is about systems in itself. If these kids are set up in a system, what are their alternatives to try to be successful when the system itself is designed for them to fail?
Yeah, man, and that's a deep question right there because that's real. I mean, we deal with it all the time, man. You know, they age out of a certain system, and there's nothing to catch them in between that. You know, the period when they're 18 to 25, and they're just out there. If they don't have that foundation before they get to that 18, if they've been in the system all that time and they age out, a lot of them do become homeless, man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just tough. It is really tough, man. It's tough to come up with solutions to that. You know what I'm saying? Because you really have to be at a point in time where they almost have to be, you know, like tutored one on one. You have to be immersed into their life to really change the way they're thinking because they've been in the system their whole entire lives, a lot of them, right, or most of their lives, in and out of juvenile facilities or foster care, whatever the case, right? Then they're shot out to the streets. So the trust thing is not there. You know what I'm saying? You got to formulate a relationship, man. And if you're doing it on the fly or you're doing it, through work or through a program, so you're talking about limited time. And to change somebody's mindset with limited time, yeah, that's difficult, man. That's difficult.
It
You know what I'm
is
saying? And you can't just like keep treating the symptoms, man. You gotta get down to what the root cause is. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot, that's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Not impossible, but it's a lot because they have to be willing to trust you, what I'm saying, to take some of the services or keep it 100 to have a simple conversation. You feel what I mean? That right there, is how you facilitate a lot of change, man. It's a simple, how you doing today? You know what I mean? And listen, we don't do that enough, right? But that population, man, is so, untrustworthy, man, because of the way they've been treated. You know, it's hard sometimes to get that simple conversation. Then you talk about mental health. Mental health is definitely in there, man. We're talking about individuals who might have went, you know, weeks, months, or years without treatment, right? You know, and even if at one time they were medicated, you know, most likely if they're on the streets, they're not anymore. You know, and that mental health is only going to increase. You know what I'm saying? Paranoia and everything else is just gonna, you know, fester until it blows.
We've seen kids, man, come in places we worked at 15, 16, leave out of there 17, full blown crackheads. And
Yeah,
the
man.
streets and took them over. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
At the gas station, pumping your gas. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that, you and I. And the work that you do for not just this the city of Philadelphia. My question is, how do we stop the, let's just say, the Jabrils? How do we stop that into happening? Like how do we change that dynamic, not just in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Detroit? What's some of the things that you help implement in the city to help counter that in a sense?
Man, it's really like I said before, man. You know, and go back what I was talking about before, man. You got to invest in the community, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got to look at it truly in a holistic approach. A lot of programs. You know, the way is you treat, you know what I'm saying, the client. You know what I mean? You can't look at it like that anymore, man. You got to treat the client. You got to treat, you know, his baby mama. You got to treat the parents. You know, the siblings. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, the community. Because you might get referrals from the neighbor or from some of his friends. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go into the situation, expecting to help more than just the person that you're assigned to. You know what I'm saying? Programs got to be designed around that type of help, and you got to be willing to put the work in. You got to be willing to be out there or to be on call whenever they need you. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that we started, is relocating people, man. You know what I'm saying? And the district attorney's office does it. You know, if it's a witness, but we're talking about relocating people, you know, that might have witnessed violence. You know what I'm saying? Or their house got shot up. You know, or they're being threatened. You know what I'm saying? So you get a call 2 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Get called 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, we got a family here, we got a mother, you know, whatever, the house just got shot up, you know, and they need to be moved. What are you going to do, man? The rubber meets the road. I mean, literally. So you're going to give them the program line, take their information, and we'll have somebody come out to them in the morning, right? They might not be living in the morning. You feel what
Hmm.
I'm saying? You got to act now. So you have to design programs around that type of thinking and behavior, right? That immediate needs to be met, and that's what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like taking a piece of bread out of a loaf. You leaving that gap there, you push the bread together, right? But by the time you get halfway through the loaf, they done baked another one that's right behind it. You feel what I'm saying? So, we're picking away at it. You know what I mean? Using that same philosophy that we have to make sure we meet the needs, but then looking at it in a holistic approach where you're not just, you know, meeting a basic need, taking them to Walmart at 3 in the morning to get Pampers, formula, some food, right? But digging a little deeper, right? Talking about mental health, getting them in some services, looking at employment. Everybody's not employable, man. Stop saying, get this person a job. This person can't hold a job. So you have to look at it from a perspective where you have to build them up to actually go into the interview, right? You can't half-ass it, man. You just can't, right? So then you look at that piece of it, right? But then you also got to look at, you know, the mother, of the client you're working with, not his immediate family, the mother, right? She might have drug addiction problems. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure you treat all the things that are around this family, because if not, those things are gonna come in and disrupt what you're trying to fix.
That's so true. I remember
Straight up and down.
working. I remember
Straight up and
working
down.
with clients, and I remember we used to do this like we used to do this where we would take them to this program, to job readiness program. And the big issue with the job readiness program that I have is, well, I'm dealing with just this client. This client got kids, right? And who's gonna watch his kids? Who's gonna be there to provide for his kids? His baby mom got to go to work or school. So who's watching these kids? He can't go to this job readiness program because he got kids he got to look after.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for
So
real.
a lot of the programs back in that day didn't correlate to real world expectations. You know what I'm
Things are
saying? So
changing though. I got to give it that things are changing. But let me, I'll give you an even harder example, right? We have a program where we look at violent offenders, who are absconders and who are out there, and the task force goes out and serves the warrant, whatever the case, right? But and this is real talk, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right? And having a conversation with my man Dave, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, we got to do something more, right? You can't, that you got to take the person off the street because they're violent offenders, right? But you're leaving a hole in that family,
you do.
right? So he was like, we need to think about putting services in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why we never thought about that before, right? Simple solution. You know what I mean? And that's real. So now we have a warrant squad that goes out to, takes care of the warrant, but we also have the social services that come in straight up after that to deal with the issues. Because that person you took out might have been the breadwinner. Let's keep it 100, right? It might be keeping the gas, the lights on, putting food at the table, the whole nine. So once you take that person out, now you have a hole to fill. That creates a whole nother situation. Violence and crime can come from that just like snapping your fingers. Because now I got to survive. I got kids. I got stress, crazy stress now. Because now I got to figure out how to put, buy Pampers for them, all that, right? So now you expect me not to act like the cagey animal that I am? Come on. So programs, and you're so right, programs and systems have to change according to what the needs of the community are at their best and at their worst. That's how I try to design programs. That's how we try to do it here.
I can't speak. I can't speak for what's going on in Detroit. Like, I'm not tapped in the way I used to be tapped in Philadelphia. But one thing I do know, like dealing with certain entities, dealing with certain systems, it's just a system. You know what I mean? You meet the need, and that's it. And and if it don't fit in the numbers, it don't work. You know what I mean? So they close it out and they go on. And say like you dealing with a population that's uh uh the kids are at stake. You know what I mean? Something going on with the kids. And then you dealing with a household that happens to be struggling in their home, and they have this going on. They remove a kid out their house, but you only give service for a allotted time. That allotted time is only for a small bit in their life. They need continuous services to help get them back on track, man. And I think that's everybody look at from different cities, they look at their way as the way instead of working as a conglomerative to help mold something different. Like if we talk about crime, I remember I remember when I moved here back to Detroit and how they had like certain like gang task force slash probationers going and talk to them that's hitting the corners and doing all that stuff. But today you see it and it's not what it is.
Yeah.
Like you see the same people that's after somebody gets shot, they're begging the community to stop. So if you're begging the community to stop, that means what you were doing wasn't really effective. You know what I mean? So how do you change that? And people are not push button. You can't change them operational wise. And
You gotta show and prove, man. You gotta show and prove. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying before, man. How you can't be out there talking one way out the side of your neck. You know what I'm saying? And doing something totally different, man. You know what I mean? And I say this with all seriousness, man. Everybody that comes out of jail is not meant to do this work. Just because you have somewhat lived experience doesn't mean your mindset has changed to where you can actually do this work. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that want to do this work is not capable of it. And they get into it and they see opportunities, and their agenda, overlays or overlaps, what I'm saying, like the main agenda, which is helping the damn community. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a story, right? And this is real. So I was younger. I went to the corrections academy in New York, right? And went to a facility, a youth facility, right? I'm a correction officer. I went to the academy and I was like, I'm gonna change people. I look like them, I talk like them. I want to, help people, and you know what I'm saying. The first day at the academy, right? Drill instructor said everybody lined up, and I'm sitting up there. I'm tight, ready. I'm ready to go in shape. You know what I'm saying? Ready to go. He said, "We are not in the business of rehabilitation. We are in the business of incarceration." I said, "Damn." I looked around and shit like, I'm the only one surprised about this, right? So right then and there, I should have been like, you know what, this ain't for me. But I go through it, go to the academy, graduate top of my class. You know what I'm saying? To do my thing, get sent to the worst facility in the country at the time, Harlem Valley Secure Center. Huge, huge, maximum security juvenile facility. They had them up to 21 then, grown ass men. The first day I walked through the gate, it was all available. And I'm running through the halls. We're running in formation, trying to find out where it's at and cutting through, and had to run halfway through the facility. Come out to a big, big area. I seen kids, bruh, 10, 11, 12, cut up, laid out, stabbed. Yo, it was crazy. And I said to myself, like, man, like, this is what we've come to. This is where we sending our kids to grow up in this environment. And then you surprised when they turn into grown men, because the laws had changed while I was there, right? A couple years they changed, and they started moving everybody that was past 18 upstate, right? You had to go upstate as soon as you boom boom. No, actually 21. As soon as you turn 21, you went upstate. They shipped everybody out. So you're going from the gladiator school, and now you're going into the straight war zone. So are we surprised when we have institutions, you know what I'm saying? And yes, some people need to be locked up, but we have to look at, you know what I'm saying, the systems and why certain things happen, and what puts people in certain situations. When people come out and act a certain way, man, their environment has a lot to do with it. I've seen it for myself, man. I seen people at their worst, man. Rikers Island. That's people at their complete worst. But I also seen people who, with some help and with simple conversations, change their lives.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But you
I
got
would.
to put the work in.
Yeah, I witnessed the same thing at a female facility, man. I'll tell you a story about how I was working there, and then we get an all bulletin call. They need help down in the cottage. I run down there. Yeah, I was running. So I get down there, and this guy told me, this real cool dude from Nigeria. He told me, Anthony. I said, what's up? He said, why are you running? You will be no good when you get there.
Yeah, word.
So that was a whole nother story. But I get down there, blood all everywhere in this
Yeah.
cottage, blood everywhere. These two girls fighting. One snuck a razor in, gave the girl $1.50 across the face. You know what I'm saying? For those who
Yep.
don't know what a $1.50 is, that
I
means
got one.
she slashed across the face. Woo! Yep, like that, just like that. You know what I mean? She leaking, whole face wide open, gutted. So I'm up in this girl room, wrestling with this girl, trying to get this knife away from her. Not a knife, she had a razor, trying to get the razor from her. And we finally get her. The police get there, and we finally talk to this girl. The girl talking about some. the girl was trying to hit on her, and she told her she had a girlfriend already. You know what I mean? So she felt like she had to protect herself. So you sit and analyze that. This kid is defending who she is because she's scared. This is like some Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you find that when you put these kids in these systems, talking to a counselor talking to you in the daytime, and then later on at night, they really on their own. They have to figure out life on their own. You know what I mean?
And let me just keep it real with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people in a lot of those systems trying to do a lot of good work, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm not knocking the system totally, but yeah, it needs to be revamped. But at some point in time, you have to look at, how far are you willing to go to really turn around the system and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We all have a part to play in it. And it's like you can't just say, well, we need to let people out of prisons, or we need to defund the police. That makes no sense to me. Seriously. That
No,
makes no sense at all.
no, I
Right?
don't. I don't agree with that either. Like
No, not at all.
there
Not at
needs to be
all.
law and order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to. You have to have law and order. But the same people who saying it, right, don't live in the community half the time, right? And aren't the ones, if something goes crazy, have to make that call. You know what I'm saying? That just really just drives me a certain way, man. It's like you have these decision makers sometimes who are so far from the problem. You know what I mean? And it's cool right now. The Black Lives Matter. Everybody wants to step on it. You know what I mean? Black lives always mattered. You know what I mean? But now it's on the shirt, and now people try to be cool with it when we want to march with it, right? But when it dies down, people like us are gonna still be there doing the work. We're gonna still be there, handling our business, man, or
Yeah,
dealing with our family.
I come to terms, big dog. I didn't come to terms with. There's no real reason for us to march any longer. You know what I mean? Like marching should be like something that's an afterthought. There should be more of a movement that we talk about and we move progressively toward than just marching. Because to me, I feel like we've done that, we did that, that's over, that's dead. There should be more to what we doing besides just, oh hell no, Black Lives Matter, or this,
You
that, and
know
the
what?
third.
I agree with you, but I disagree too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like this. I I'm firmly okay with people expressing themselves the way they want to express themselves, whether it's marching, whether it's writing a letter, or whatever it is, as long as you get involved and do something, right? But just to do it, I can't see that. You know what I'm saying? What's the outcome? What are you driving towards? But just to sit and do it makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody wants to express themselves because of something that happened, there got to be some follow up with it. There has to be something coming out of it, because like you said, man, just to get out there and get in front of the camera and march, and the camera's gone, and everybody who's marching is gone. The community's still hurting, man. The community still has, we still got to sit there and deal with the issues in the community.
And that's the biggest things. Like, a lot of people can pinpoint um the crack epidemic being a real drastic point where the community really took a deep dive. You know, I think we was failing before then, but this took us in a nosedive. And we haven't really fully recovered. Not even fully recovered, we haven't recovered at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what strides that we've been able to do. It seemed like when the crack ever hit, it became even more volatile, and it's become more of a territorial in these communities. You know, I just don't understand how can we break that down, and the work we put in, you know, it never overlaps the idea that somebody somewhere is hungry, and they will shoot and kill you for $1. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense.
That overlaps anything. You know what I mean?
My man Cuddy just hit me with something I want to share, right?
No
He said
doubt.
the,
What's up,
he said
Cuddy?
the black family is raised not to talk about their problems. In many cases, if you do, it's a sign of weakness, and or you are acting white. And that's so true.
Mm,
That is so true, man.
mm.
And he also says it's easier sometimes to give up because then there is no expectation on either side.
You
That's
tell
knowledge.
you tell
Knowledge to Cuddy. Knowledge to Cuddy.
you shout out to Cuddy. You tell Cuddy he can put that in the chat too, so we all can see. You know what I mean? He don't got to keep it with your phone. If I don't know
that, baby. Go ahead.
if he boosted words to you, but
Yo, he's boosting it too. We had a conversation last night, right? It was on the back deck. You know what I'm saying? Trying to shake off this week, man. It's just been a crazy week, right? So I called my man up. You know, he always gets my mind right. And we was just dropping it, man, about about religion, man, just about life in general, man, and how we struggled, like we really struggled. But that thing he said, man, was just so powerful, man. He's like, man, but we struggled together. You know what I'm saying? We struggled together. If you didn't have, I had. You know what I'm saying? If you was out there doing whatever, I was there with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's so important because I think a lot of things are individualized now. A lot of these kids are out there, and even though they might run together in cliques, but that's only for that moment. But they internalize their problems. They don't have other individuals who have the same issues, struggling and working through the problems together. It's not cool to say you have a problem, so everybody holds it in. But I seen you with the same jeans on like 4 days in a row. Something going on.
But that
come on, right?
The same system we talk about is the system that helped destroy that togetherness that you speak on. Like I grew up in the 80s where there still was block captains and block committees, and everybody on the block looked out for each other. Like I remember getting my butt whooped by Miss Hope. You know what I'm saying? So
by Hope?
Miss Hope.
Oh, I thought you said a hoe. I said, damn.
No, not
what's going on? What's going on in Detroit? I don't know about.
Miss Hope, Miss Jenkins, Mr. Mack. You know what I mean? All them. I
shout out to Sister Burt, Cuddy. Shout out to Sister Burt. She's the
I at least got popped up the head and my butt kicked before my mama even said something to me. You know what I'm saying? That was a sense of family that you can't find today. And I remember when I still lived in Philadelphia, you talk about block committees and block captains and the police were trying to organize the communities. Them old heads scared. They scared to even come out their house. You know what I mean?
And that sickens me, man. I say it all the time, man. And you know what I'm saying? It's not funny anymore, man. It's just not cool anymore. It just sickens me that you got people scared to go to the store. The store is 2 houses down from their block, bro, from their house, and they scared to walk down their steps and go 2 houses down to the store. That sickens me, man. That's my word.
You got young boys in here. They laugh. Oh, hey, get your ass in the house. You know what I mean? And I've seen that, and I had to check a young boy like, who the fuck is you talking to?
Yeah, word.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. You don't disrespect your old head like that.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But it's no respect, and they got this ideology. Well, you got to give respect to get it. You know what I mean? And
if they're getting respect, is a lot different from ours.
Yeah,
our respect came with this. Right? But they like this because they're not built that way no more, man. They're not. They're just not, and that's okay if they're not. But they have to find other ways of dealing with the situations and getting that respect other than shooting. You got to find other ways because it's not even about shooting somebody who's in the game. They just walking up, spraying and praying. It's crazy.
I think it was there or either here, one or the other, where they just beat the shit out of an old elder.
That was there.
That was there, right?
Yeah, 10-year-old or 14-year-old. It's just crazy, man. Little kids, man.
These babies, man. These babies with this sense of violence.
But these babies will kill you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. These babies with this element of violence, they off the chain. They like gremlins, bro. Like
they are. But you know what though, man? They are people, man. So we gotta figure out a solution and a way to kind of deal with that, man. You can't give up on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting a fight every day, bro. Every day. You know what I mean? All right, I'm trying to make it better because I got.
Let's say, for example, like what is the solution if we put them, say like we put them in a facility, right? The facility is meant for them to do what? Get treatment. What kind of treatment? Therapy treatment, psychotherapy treatment. What is the consequence? You know what I'm saying? And maybe this just the law enforcement in me, you know what I mean? Whatever action, it holds a reaction. what is the reaction? You know what I'm saying? If you
I don't
actually,
know, bro. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a solution, man. Like locking these kids up. I don't know if that's a solution, but I know that I know they can't be allowed to continue to run amok. You know what I'm saying? They can't be allowed to terrorize the neighborhood. But what is the solution?
yeah,
And
that's what I
how
was
are
gonna
and
say.
how are the parents being held accountable?
You think if
Straight up.
they don't, but if you think if the parents were accountable, it'll be a different story with the kid.
I think it's a start, man. I think it's a start. But a lot of these parents need to understand how to parent. You
And
see what I'm saying?
I was gonna tap into that too because
Straight
if
up.
you if you think about it, a parent nowadays, they biggest they biggest fear is getting a call from CPS. You know
Or
what I'm saying?
DHS here.
DHS, CPS here. You know what I'm saying? Their biggest conflict is getting that call from them. You know what I mean? So it's a fear factor of being able to absolutely parent your kid. But it starts at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be accountable, man. But again, like some parents don't know how to parent, man. You know what I'm saying? And who's that? You got the grandma who's 30 years old, man. I mean, seriously. And she trying to get out there and party just like the 14-year who just had the baby. Yeah, it's just bananas.
Or they have
The family structure has the black family structure has really been, degraded to a point where now we're just throwing pieces in and just calling it a family. You know what I'm saying? There's no identified head of the household. Roles have kind of switched sometimes and switch back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that affects the children. You know what I mean? The children grow up and they see, this unstable environment. You know what I mean? And then they gravitate sometimes to gangs because that gives them a strong environment, or they gravitate to whatever they can to get some type of love. I'm not a psychologist. You know what I mean? And I don't claim to be. I just know from experience and what I see and what I've and the parents I've talked to and the children I've talked to, what they say the issues are, and you see it manifesting in their behavior like every day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And you can't expect nothing but chaos after that.
That's
That's
totally
real.
true, my brother. That's
That's
totally
real.
true. So, let me see what's going on in the comments because we've been kicking it. We just been busting it up like it's been old times. Let's see what's going on in the comments. We got DJ Touch. DJ Touch is in the building. Shout out to DJ Touch. She said, "Good evening, fellas." You know what I mean?
Peace, peace, sister.
We got Kid. What's up, Kid? She said, "Hey guys, I'm checking in on y'all out. I'm checking on y'all tonight." You know what I mean?
Peace,
So
peace.
that's what's up. Cuddy, whenever you see the chat, you can holler at the chat. You know what I'm saying? So, and also, man, I just wanted to point out that um, it's not easy. You know what I mean? The work that you do, the work that everybody that on the front lines in residential and in the communities and just doing service for these kids in these communities, it's not easy work because
No, it's not, man. It's not.
you want to.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying. And look, I like being in the streets. You know what I'm saying, talking to people, walking. I wear a suit and tie every day. You know what I mean. But I'd rather be in shirts or in the back of my Harley, pulling up to a scene, just having a conversation with people at events. But you have to have somebody in that position or my position. If not me, somebody else, man, that thinks alike, man. That they have to, be that voice of reason sometime in the room. Like, wait, whoa, wait a minute. What about, the community? What about the families? You know what I'm saying? What about what we're doing? We need to think about. We need to talk to them first before we do what we're planning on doing. You know what I'm saying? That's so important, man. And again, there's a lot of good people out there doing a lot of good work, man, across the country. I've met a lot of brothers, man, and sisters who are out there doing some powerful work, man. But it's just a lot to do, man. It is a lot. The task is daunting, man. It's a lot. So you need more people. You got to teach people up, man. You got to start with these young cats, man, who are out there, trying to find avenues. You know what I'm saying? For their anger, and you gotta teach them how to take all that energy, man, and put it in something positive. You
Want
got
to give a big shout out to my man Cuddy. Black Lives Matter
God,
New York stand up. This your man Cuddy.
stand up, baby, stand up.
Shout out to
Peace to the
D
God.
King
Peace
all
to the
day,
God.
baby. Shout out to the D. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand where you coming from,
Big
man.
Dave on here too. What's up, Dave?
It's
See
the
you,
land.
baby.
Whoa, hold up. He talking some Isolati. What's going on? Isolati, what? What? Where? I hear you. I hear you. Shout out, man. I just want to say, man, I know some of the phenomenal work you've done. Uh, if possible, I don't know if you can shout out some of the organizations that you tapped into and some of the line of work that you're doing today to try
And
to
it's too
make
it's
this
too
a
many
different place.
it's too many to name, man. Because if I name some, I don't name the other ones. You know what I mean? It's just not fair, man. I'm gonna shout out one organization that's dear to my heart, man. Philadelphia Anti-Drug Anti-Violence Network, man. PAN. I'm always shout them out, man. Excellent work, man. Founder James Mills, man. Powerful brother, man. Powerful brother. It's led by a brother now, you know what I'm saying? George Mosey, you know what I mean? The brother's holding it down. I can't take nothing from him. I'm a
I
pain in
will
the
say,
ass to him sometimes, you know what I mean? But I can't take nothing from him. He's holding it down, you know what I mean? But organization is probably the oldest community-based organization in the city, man. You know
can
what I'm
you
saying? It was
can
20
you
something
speak on the
years
brother
old.
that was there when I was there?
What'd you say?
Can you speak on the brother that was there when I was there?
Daryl Coates, man.
Daryl Coates.
Daryl Coates. How can I forget my frat? You know what I mean? Daryl
That was a
Coates.
powerful
You
brother,
know what I
man.
mean? Sigma shout out. Sigma shout out. Keep it right now.
Yeah, that was a
All right.
powerful brother,
But
man.
yeah, man, Daryl Coates, man, powerful brother, man. And that the agency was always run by powerful brothers and sisters, man. Just all black organization, man, in the communities, man. You know what
Shout
I
out to
mean?
Zelda. Shout out to
Yeah.
Zelda.
Z, what's going on, man?
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying, man? It's like, and I'm sure there's a lot of organizations in the D town too that are doing the same work, man. But those are the organizations, you know what I'm saying, that we need to gravitate to, man. And we need to gravitate to the small organizations that are doing great work. You know what I'm saying? Those ones we need to put on too. How do we get those, to be those bigger organizations that are helping the city out? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe somebody watched this platform, man, and they put the link together so we can get that together. You know what I'm saying?
However I can help, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For
So
real.
I definitely want to stay behind the lines so we can touch these kids, man. That's what it's about, man. Every
Go ahead.
day we need to hit these kids before the system hit them. That is the problem that we're
Indeed.
facing. You
Yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
fully agree, man. But again, you know what I'm saying? I got it, like I said, man, you can't look at just hitting them kids, man. You gotta hit that family too. Because whatever you
Definitely
do with
agree.
that kid, that as soon as they get home to that chaotic situation, that's all gonna be erased. That's all gonna be erased. So you need to deal with that home life, you need to deal with that school life, deal with them kids, right? Right? But you also better deal with that community too. So you need to look at it really in a holistic approach, man. Hit it from all angles. And one person or one organization can't do it alone. It has to be collective. You know what I'm saying? You have to have more than one or two spoons in the pot. You have to. You got to stir that thing up right.
Has there ever been an organization? I may shout out a name, but I want to hear from you that was touching on all those avenues in history.
I'll let you say it.
I want to say the Black Panther Party, but I'm not. I'm not sure if that's where you're going to go. You know what
Power
I'm
to the
saying?
people, baby. I'll give it that. I'll definitely give the Black Panther Party a shout out. You know what I'm saying?
You know, you know what I'm saying? I was going to say the Black Panther Party was touching on all
UEP
those
Newton all day long, man. UEP, so yeah, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you.
Yeah, so we got to definitely tap back into one of the major things we used to do. We used to cover education, you know what I mean, community, and also success for our own people, man. So
We gotta take care of ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do for ourselves, man. Meaning that we have to make us a priority. We gotta put the community and your neighbor, sometime ahead of your own needs. You have to look at it where, you know what I'm saying, in order for me to make it, they have to make it. You feel what I'm saying? You
most
look at it
definitely,
like that, then you're gonna make sure you lift them up every time that they slip and they fall. You're gonna give people as much help as you possibly can. You feel what I mean? And that's how we got to. That's how we got to change. You talk about the Black Panther Party, the food distribution, you know, um, safe travel. You know what I'm saying? Make sure people got back and forth to certain areas. Patrol your neighborhood. All that's in place. but it's just not being utilized. You know what I mean? We have Town Watch. You know what I'm saying? Do an excellent job. You know, we got a lot of different pieces, but you know, just putting all that together. But then this the crazy part. But then you have all them services, but you have to convince people that it's worth them, you know what I'm saying, taking advantage of it. It's about trust, relationships. You can put all the money you want to in the programs, man. If somebody says that program ain't worth nothing because they treated me X, Y, and Z, that word of mouth is gonna tumble down the neighborhood, and people ain't gonna mess with it.
I go back to the
So,
program, the two programs I created in
I got about 10 minutes
West
left, bro.
Philadelphia. Huh?
I got about 10 minutes left.
Definitely, we about to be up out of here. I was going to talk about street connections and pick up games for peace. Just a small snippet of showing that I cared in the community.
Hell of a program you developed, man.
Thank you, bro. It brought the whole community out, and I know everybody in that neighborhood today. I'm gonna say two comments from. I'm gonna show two comments from Cuddy. Cuddy said Black Wall Street was the end of our Black civilization. That's definitely true. And he also said the powers that be will only allow us to do so much before they dumb us down and allow internal ruckus to keep our own selves and people down without them having to raise a hand.
That's real talk.
That's real talk, but we can't let them control who we are and what we
can't
do.
let them control the narrative anymore, man.
Yeah.
Who invented social media? Come on, man. Keep that 100. Who invented social media? And understand how it controls. Some people can't even get up and go to the bathroom in the morning time without checking their social media.
That's crazy. Kids say the NOI teaches us to take care of our own as well. They teach young Black men and women to deal with everyday problems as well. That's what's up.
I grew up in the nation, so yeah, no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. So on that note, man, I just want to say, I love you, my brother. You know that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. I love you too, man. I'm proud of you, man. You doing it big, man. Seriously, man. However I can help, man. Anytime you want me to come on the show, man, or whatever, man, I got you. You doing it big.
Man, you come once, you always family. You always welcome to come back.
I'm gonna have to check it out on Fridays, man. I'm gonna plug in. You know what I mean?
Cuddy, you can get off them comments and come on too, man.
You need to. You need to drop those jewels.
You know what I mean? Definitely, man. But I was gonna say, man, I love you. And I love all the work that you've done. I love the mentorship you have gave me.
That, man.
You know what I'm saying? You like the big brother I never had in some elements. And I appreciate you for that, my brother. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things I didn't know I learned through you. And you remember I used to have a hell of a anger issue.
Yeah, we used to have some conversations in my office, man, or at my house. Like, yo, come on, man. You know. You gotta go. You gotta do it different, bro. You gotta do it different. Yeah,
I had to learn, man, and I learned some of the shit I learned the hard way, man.
Yeah, man, but that's life, though, man. That's life.
Yeah, and I could say today I never was afraid to listen.
Nah, you definitely took it in. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
but
so
sometimes it was after the fact, but still, it's all good. I still got that steak for you too, baby. So when you hit Philly, holler at me.
No doubt,
definitely. Hit the grill up.
And I want to end this with everybody. You want to give a shout out before you roll out of here, man? A shameless plug, anything? Give a shout out to the homies.
I already shouted my people out. You know what I mean? I'm good.
No doubt. Shout out to the family, man. Tell the family I love them.
Yo, same here, man. Same here.
And we gonna keep it going, man, and get up out of here, man. This is Mask Off. This is episode 119, man. This is the OG Big Tone with my man, my heart, Shondell Ravel. We doing it big. Till next time, we'll see y'all. Mask Off. We here every Friday at 9 p.m., man. Till then, everybody, peace and blessings. We up out of here. Peace.
Peace.